Hello Andy, this is the transmission out of your 92 F250 or 350 with the 7.3 diesel. This is what it looks like when the transmission is all apart. The case is just in the parts washer getting washed up right now. I'll go over some of the faults we found inside with you, and Eric or Amanda will contact you with the cost estimates. We'll start with the pan and the filter. You can see all this bronze material, it's like a brass. That you can see there's obviously a whole bunch of it on top of the filter. The filter is black, should look like that, but it's settled down on here. It also settled inside the pan as well. So that was one of our concerns, was where did all this brass material come from? We wouldn't normally see that volume of material there for sure. The transmission fluid itself was red, you can see, and there was obviously the leak from the front, which is that gray seal. The seal itself is a poor quality seal, and most of the overhaul kits don't come with that seal anymore, so basically the seal itself wears out, creates a leak out the front. It's a real common concern. When we look at the pump itself, the bushing is going to be very hard for the camera to pick it up, but there's some damage on the bushing surface. That typically that's going to be from material from the converter coming through there, and it's just a Babbitt bushing that from the factory that would have been a bronze bushing. The Babbitt's a poor choice in our estimation, and here you can see some material in this area here. That looks like clutch material that's forming inside there, and on our stator we have quite a bit of that material inside here as well. So definitely stuff was happening inside the transmission. When we look at our clutches, this is the high reverse clutch, which comes on for third and reverse. You can see the light color tan, that's what color they're supposed to be. I don't even know the brand of these clutches because they're not Borg-Warner or Ray-Bessis, which are the two best clutches. But you know, bottom line is the slippage here, the black line, and then you can see some superheating on the steel plates as well. So this clutch we know has been slipping. On the overdrive clutch, which comes on for fourth gear, the teeth have some wear where they spline onto the drum, so they just have a little bit of wear. The overrunner coast clutch, that one has just a teeny bit of discoloration. The low reverse clutch, which is this one, it looks okay. The forward clutch, which comes on for all the forward gears, it has some spline wear here on the teeth as well. The better clutch plates have a hardened steel core, so you don't typically get that. Intermediate clutch that comes on for second gear, we have you can see the darkening there, you can see some dark spots, so there's been some slippage on that clutch as well. This washer, there's supposed to be 3 of these tabs. You can see that tab is missing, so it probably wasn't located correctly when it was put onto the drum. It actually sits on this drum like so, and so one of the tabs probably just wasn't located. That's going to explain some of the brass material that we saw on top of the filter. One thing of note, common practice in rebuilding would be they have this little bushing here that goes into the output shaft. So this bushing here, it's common practice, and Ford put it into production in '95 to get rid of that. So what happens is the weight of the transmission causes this bushing to wear prematurely, and then the whole transmission kind of sags down on there, and you can create a problem with some of the rings inside the transmission, where these rings on the forward drum are sitting inside of the center support, which is this. So the rings, that drum sits inside here, and so the drum itself can chew into that. So the fix for that is they've developed a bearing that goes in here, and you change this shaft here, and so the bearing is supported here instead of the teeny bushing that they rely on the supporting there. On the lower reverse, the roller clutch, If we look inside here, you can see where my thumb is. One of the springs is broken, and they do have an updated roller clutch there as well, so you know, that's just a fatigue problem. So when that happened, this roller actually fell out when we were taking it apart. The race that roller goes against is fairly worn, so right where the rollers would go is right in this location, and there's a lip here from the wear, so the hardening on this race is wearing away, so that's going to have to be addressed as well. The other thing of note is the torque converter was a converter that was manufactured from a company in Edmonton that's no longer around, and that converter is shown to be not very durable, and you can create all kinds of failures. So this, in the stuff that we see inside the transmission, like you can see there's, you know, like this brass stuff is everywhere, so that's all going to have to be cleaned out. That's not going to come from the torque converter, but this torque converter is so prone to failure that we're going to recommend that the converter be replaced in all instances, because if the converter fails, it can sometimes fail with no warning and cause no movement forward and back. So as I said, Eric or Amanda will contact with price estimates on both the repair and the recondition, and we shall go from there. Thanks.